A woman actually swallowed a worm egg to lose weight. A few days later, Amy had transformed into a stunning beauty. On the night of the ball, Amy attended in full splendor, and her beauty dazzled the entire gathering. Her mother led her on a leash as Amy mimicked kitten sounds, a display that was both adorable and seductive, leaving all the nobles completely mesmerized. However, the prince remained expressionless, completely unimpressed. Amy's heart sank with anxiety. Wasn't she good enough? Just then, the prince suddenly stopped and walked straight toward Amy. He extended his hand, inviting her to dance. As the music began, Amy felt like the happiest woman in the world. But at that very moment, a masked woman burst into the great hall. Her mysterious aura instantly captured everyone's attention, and the prince actually abandoned Amy to walk directly toward this enigmatic stranger. Suddenly, Amy's stomach began churning violently. She couldn't hold back any longer and ran to the hall, vomiting uncontrollably. But what came out were hundreds of writhing worm eggs. It turned out the treatment wasn't helping her lose weight at all. The parasites were reproducing wildly inside her belly. Seeing her daughter in this state, her mother coldly wiped Amy's mouth and told her there were plenty of wealthy men out there. She didn't necessarily have to marry the prince. Amy had no choice but to endure the pain, though her eyes couldn't help stealing glances at the prince. That's when she realized the mysterious princess was actually her cousin. When the cousin saw she'd been recognized, she fled in terror. The prince chased after her frantically, but couldn't catch up, only managing to retrieve the crystal slipper she'd dropped. Then the prince made a shocking announcement. Whoever the shoe belonged to would become his bride. Amy was absolutely furious. She stormed home and, seeing her cousin, completely lost it, demanding she hand over the other crystal slipper. With her fierce determination, Amy successfully snatched the shoe away. But when she tried it on, her size 11 feet simply wouldn't fit. Looking closely, she realized her toes were just a few lengths too long. By this point, Amy had gone completely mad. She raised the knife and chopped off the excess toes without hesitation. The pain caused her to faint on the spot. But when her mother saw what happened, she actually helped make it symmetrical. And so, Amy wore the crystal slipper. When the prince went door to door searching, Amy's foot fit the crystal slipper perfectly. The prince was overjoyed and announced they would hold the wedding the very next day. But the next second, Amy woke up from her dream. It turned out everything had been just a dream. And in reality, she was still bedridden, unable to move because of her mutilated toes. Even more devastating, she could hear the prince's voice outside her door. Amy desperately crawled out of bed and struggled toward the entrance. She dragged herself down the stairs, only to see her cousin already dressed up and ready to leave. Amy listened in despair as the prince announced his engagement. But the bride wasn't her. Through her blurred vision, Amy saw the prince's contemptuous gaze. In the end, all she was left with was an empty dream.